First Contact and Challenge. The stars gleamed like silent guardians across the viewport of the UES Discovery, humanity's most advanced deep space research vessel. Captain Maya Chen stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the endless void with eyes that had seen 20 years of space travel. At 42, the fine lines around her eyes told stories of both wonder and hardship among the stars. Captain, we're picking up something unusual at the edge of the solar system, Lieutenant Raj Patel said, his voice cutting through the quiet hum of the bridge. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. Maya turned, her short black hair framing a face now tight with concern. Show me. The main display flickered to life, showing what appeared to be a distortion in space near Neptune's orbit. As they watched, the distortion grew, stretching like fabric being pulled apart, until it tore open. Through this cosmic wound emerged massive ships, crystalline structures that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. Their hulls shimmered with an iridescent blue-green glow that reminded Maya of Earth's oceans. "My God," whispered Commander Jackson, the Discovery's XO. "How many are there?" "Sensors are tracking 17 vessels," Raj replied, his fingers dancing across his console. "The largest is approximately 4 kilometers in length." Maya felt her mouth go dry. Humanity had only achieved reliable interplanetary travel in the last 30 years. The colony on Mars was barely self-sufficient, and the settlements on Europa and Titan were still in their infancy. Earth's United Defense Fleet consisted of just 35 combat-capable ships, none larger than half a kilometer. "Open." "A channel to Earth Command," Maya ordered. "Priority Alpha." Before the communications officer could comply, every screen on the bridge flickered and changed. A face appeared, if it could be called a face. 4 vertical slits that might have been eyes were arranged around what appeared to be a speaking apparatus. The skin, if it was skin, had a texture reminiscent of polished obsidian, with subtle patterns flowing beneath the surface. "People of Earth," the creature spoke, its voice unexpectedly melodious despite the harsh translation. "I am High Commander Vextral of the Vraxian Dominion. Your world has been identified as harboring potential threats to galactic stability." Maya exchanged glances with her officers. This was First Contact, the moment humanity had speculated about for centuries, and it was happening on her watch. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Discovery," she responded, hoping her voice conveyed more confidence than she felt. "We welcome peaceful contact with your civilization." The alien commander made a motion that might have been amusement. "Peace is precisely our mission, Captain. The Vraxian Dominion maintains order across 27 star systems by identifying and containing dangerous species before they can spread beyond their homeworlds." A chill ran down Maya's spine. "I assure you, Commander, humanity has no hostile intentions toward other civilizations." "Your intentions are irrelevant," Vextral replied. "Our scans have detected unusual biological signatures on your planet. Creatures with remarkable capacity for violence, unpredictability, and emotional manipulation. Before we determine whether humanity may join the galactic community, you must surrender your most dangerous beast for our evaluation." The bridge fell silent. "And if we refuse?" Maya asked carefully. "Then we must assume your species harbors hostile intent," the commander stated, "in which case preventative measures would be required to ensure galactic security." The screen went dark, leaving the bridge crew staring at the distant alien fleet. "Did an advanced alien civilization just demand we hand over our most dangerous animal?" Commander Jackson asked incredulously. From under Maya's command station came a soft whine. A golden retriever with intelligent brown eyes crawled out and rested his head on her knee. "Not now, Cooper," Maya said, absently patting the therapy dog's head. All starship captains were allowed one personal comfort item, and Maya had chosen Cooper, a specially trained therapy and support animal who helped her manage the stress of command. "Send everything to Earth Command," Maya ordered, "and prepare for emergency jump back to Earth. We need to be there for whatever happens next." The Higa United Earth Council chamber buzzed with barely controlled panic. Representatives from every nation and colony sat around the massive circular table, their faces illuminated by the holographic display of the Vraxian fleet, now holding position just beyond Mars's orbit. "They want our most dangerous animal?" President Okafor of the African Federation asked. "Like what? A lion? A saltwater crocodile?" Dr. Eliza Martinez, Earth's foremost xenobiologist, shook her head. "I don't think they're talking about physical danger alone. Their message mentioned emotional manipulation as a characteristic they're concerned about." "Maybe they mean humans," suggested the European Union representative dryly. Maya sat silently, observing the debate while scratching Cooper's ears. The dog had been cleared to enter the high-security meeting due to her captain's status. As the arguments continued, Maya found herself thinking about the alien commander's words. Creatures with remarkable capacity for violence, unpredictability, and emotional manipulation. What if we don't understand what they consider dangerous? She finally spoke up, drawing every eye in the room. Their biology, their society, their very concept of danger could be fundamentally different from ours. President Santiago of the North American Alliance nodded. "Captain Chen has a point. We're trying to interpret an alien ultimatum through a human lens." "Nevertheless," the Chinese premier interjected, "we must respond. Their weapons technology appears to be centuries beyond ours. The scans they conducted of Earth were thorough enough to penetrate our deepest oceans and bunkers. We cannot risk hostilities." The debate raged on, with military advisors pushing for a show of strength while diplomatic corps advocated for compliance. Maya found her attention drifting to Cooper, who had fallen asleep under her chair, his gentle snores barely audible amid the heated discussions. An idea began to form, absurd at first, then increasingly compelling. "What if we give them a dog?" Maya asked suddenly. The room fell silent. "A dog?" President Okafor repeated incredulously. "Yes." Maya stood, her confidence growing. "Think about it from their perspective. Dogs were bred from wolves, apex predators. They have sharp teeth, acute senses, and can be trained to attack. But more importantly, they possess an almost supernatural ability to form emotional bonds with humans and other species." Dr. Martinez's eyes widened. "The emotional manipulation they mentioned?" "Exactly," Maya continued. "Dogs have evolved alongside humans specifically to read our emotions, to make us care for them, to integrate themselves into our society so thoroughly that we consider them family rather than another species. No other animal on Earth has manipulated an entire species so successfully." The room erupted in overlapping conversations. "It's either brilliant or insane," Commander Reyes of the Earth Defense Force muttered. "Both," Maya replied with a hint of a smile. "But consider what it communicates. If we send them a large predator like a tiger, we're essentially confirming their fears about dangerous Earth creatures. If we send them a dog, especially one like Cooper, we're showing them something that represents the best of what happens when different species work together." President Santiago stood. "It's unorthodox, but then again, so is this entire situation. Captain Chen, would you be willing to present your companion to the Vraxians yourself?" Maya looked down at Cooper, now awake and watching her with trusting eyes. "Yes, Mr. President, I would." The shuttle approached the massive Vraxian flagship, dwarfed by its crystalline structure. Maya sat in the co-pilot seat, her dress uniform crisp and her expression carefully neutral. In a special carrier beside her, Cooper waited patiently, having been briefed by the best animal behaviorist on Earth about the importance of his good behavior. "Vraxian vessel, this is Earth Shuttle diplomat requesting permission to dock," the pilot transmitted. "We bring the requested biological specimen as instructed." After a moment's pause, a melodious voice responded. "Permission granted, Earth vessel. Proceed to docking bay 4. As they maneuvered toward the indicated bay, Maya caught her first close-up glimpse of the alien technology. The hull seemed to be composed of overlapping scales, each one shifting slightly as if the ship itself were breathing. There was no visible seam where the docking bay opened. The surface simply reconfigured itself to create an entrance. "Impressive," the pilot murmured. "And terrifying," Maya added quietly. The shuttle settled onto the deck with a soft thud. Through the viewport, Maya could see several Vraxians waiting. In person, they were taller than she'd expected, nearly 2.5 meters, with the same obsidian-like skin that flowed with subtle patterns. Their bodies were vaguely humanoid, but with 4 upper limbs instead of 2, and their movements had an unsettling fluidity. "Ready, Cooper?" Maya whispered, opening the carrier. Cooper stepped out, his training evident in his calm demeanor despite the strange environment. Maya attached his special leash, designed to look more ceremonial than functional, and took a deep breath. "Let's go meet the neighbors." The shuttle door opened and Captain Maya Chen stepped onto an alien vessel with Earth's most dangerous beast, walking obediently by her side. The power of connection. The Vraxian welcoming party froze at the sight of Cooper. The alien in the center, adorned with more elaborate patterns flowing beneath its skin, stepped forward. Captain Chen. The translator at Maya's collar rendered the melodious speech. "I am High Commander Vextrol. You bring this as your most dangerous creature?" Maya stood tall, projecting confidence she didn't entirely feel. "Yes, Commander. This is Cooper, a species we call dog, specifically bred from the Canis lupus lineage." Vextrol's 4 eye slits contracted simultaneously. "Our scans indicated much larger predators on your world. Creatures with more impressive physical capabilities." "Physical danger is only one type of danger," Maya replied carefully. "You specifically mentioned emotional manipulation in your requirements. This species has evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, specifically developing traits that make us care for them, protect them, and form deep emotional bonds with them." She gestured to Cooper, who sat perfectly at attention, his warm brown eyes watching the aliens with interest rather than fear. "These animals can read human facial expressions better than some humans can. They understand our pointing gestures, our tone of voice, our emotional states. They have inserted themselves so completely into human society that many humans consider them family members rather than separate species." One of the other Vraxians moved closer, its movements cautious. "It has weapons," it observed, pointing to Cooper's teeth. "Yes, but he chooses not to use them against friends," Maya explained. "That's what makes him truly remarkable, and potentially dangerous. He can decide when to use his natural abilities based on complex social understanding." Cooper, sensing he was being discussed, wagged his tail slightly. The movement sent a ripple of what appeared to be alarm through the Vraxian group. "It's expressing emotion," Vextrol noted. "What does this motion signify?" "Happiness," Maya said simply. "Or friendliness. He's telling you he's not a threat." The aliens conferred among themselves in their native language, too complex for Maya's translator to process. Finally, Vextrol turned back to her. "We will examine this creature more thoroughly. You will accompany us to the central chamber." Maya nodded, keeping a light hold on Cooper's leash as they followed the aliens through corridors that seemed to reshape themselves as they walked. The interior of the ship was as organic as its exterior, with surfaces that responded to the Vraxians' presence. Soft ambient light emanated from nowhere in particular, and the air carried a faint scent reminiscent of ozone after a thunderstorm. The central chamber was a vast circular space with a raised platform in the center. Other Vraxians lined the walls, their skin patterns shifting in what Maya assumed was excitement or curiosity. "Place the creature on the platform," Vextrol instructed. Maya hesitated. "Cooper stays with me. That's part of understanding what makes him significant, the bond between our species." After a moment's consideration, Vextrol nodded. "Then you both will ascend." Together, Maya and Cooper stepped onto the platform. Immediately, a gentle hum filled the air, and Maya felt a tingling sensation across her skin. Cooper pressed against her leg, but remained calm. "We are conducting a comprehensive biological and neurological scan," Vextrol explained. "It will not harm either of you." The scan continued for several minutes while the assembled Vraxians watched in silence. Finally, the humming stopped, and Vextrol approached the platform. "Fascinating," the commander said. "The neural patterns, Between you and this Cooper show remarkable synchronicity. When you experience stress, its brain responds. When it seeks reassurance, you provide it instinctively. That's the relationship we've developed with dogs over thousands of years, Maya explained. It's a mutually beneficial partnership. Vextrol made a gesture that the translator couldn't interpret. You claim this creature is dangerous, yet I see only cooperation and something our language has no precise word for. Trust, Maya offered, or perhaps love. Explain these concepts in the context of danger, Vextrol requested. Maya considered, her words carefully, aware that Earth's future might depend on her explanation. The danger lies in what these relationships represent. Dogs have completely transformed themselves to integrate with another species. They've changed their behavior, their social structures, even their biology to form bonds with us. In return, they've gained our protection and resources. From an evolutionary perspective, it's brilliant and potentially dangerous to any species that might threaten either partner in this relationship. She knelt beside Cooper, who immediately licked her hand. But more importantly, these bonds cross species boundaries. They demonstrate that different forms of life can form connections that transcend biological imperatives. That kind of connection can change the course of civilizations, which I imagine could be considered dangerous to those who prefer strict order and separation. A murmur rippled through the Vraxian observers. Vextrol's skin patterns shifted rapidly. You understand more than we anticipated, the commander said. Perhaps it is time to show you why we are truly here. With a gesture, Vextrol activated a holographic display. It showed creatures unlike anything Maya had seen. Massive beings with crystalline structures similar to the Vraxian ships, but clearly biological in nature. These are the Krelvor, ancient enemies of many civilizations. They consume planets by converting all biological matter into crystalline structures compatible with their physiology. We have tracked a dormant Krelvor scout to your solar system. Maya's blood ran cold. You're not here to evaluate humanity. Not primarily, Vextrol acknowledged. We are here to eliminate the Krelvor before it awakens, but our protocols require us to evaluate any sentient species in the target system before proceeding. And you wanted our most dangerous animal because... Throughout our history, we have found that a species' most dangerous creation often reveals their true nature, Vextrol explained. Some offer weapons, others offer predators. You offered a companion, one with whom you share a neural bond. At that moment, a smaller Vraxian approached, carrying what looked like a containment unit. Inside was a creature roughly the size of a cat, but with 6 limbs and a body covered in what appeared to be soft, flowing tendrils that shifted colors as it moved. This is a trill, Vextrol said with what might have been affection. Our own companion species. Maya watched in amazement as the small creature was released from its container and immediately climbed up Vextrol's body to rest on the commander's shoulder. The tendrils extended to make contact with Vextrol's skin, and the patterns beneath, both creatures' surfaces synchronized. They form neurological connections with us, Vextrol explained. They share our emotions, our thoughts. They are part of our society, our families. Cooper, who had been watching the trill with interest, wagged his tail again. This time the Vraxians didn't recoil. May I? Maya asked, gesturing toward the trill. After a moment's hesitation, Vextrol nodded. Maya extended her hand slowly, and the trill stretched out a tendril. When they made contact, Maya felt a gentle warmth spread up her arm and a faint sense of curiosity that wasn't her own. Amazing, she whispered. What is truly remarkable, Vextrol said, is that our species, separated by vast distances and completely different evolutionary paths, both developed relationships with companion species based on neural connection and mutual benefit. Cooper chose that moment to approach Vextrol, sniffing curiously at the commander's lower limbs. The Vraxians watched tensely, but Vextrol remained still, allowing the inspection. He's curious about you, Maya explained. He's trying to understand who you are through scent. After a thorough investigation, Cooper sat down in front of Vextrol and offered his paw. a trick Maya had taught him years ago. There was a moment of silence before the Vraxian commander very carefully extended a limb and touched Cooper's paw. "I believe," Vextral said, "that we have much to learn from each other." 3 days later, Maya stood on the observation deck of the Discovery, watching as the combined Earth-Vraxian fleet positioned itself around the dormant Krelvor Scout, a small moon-sized object that had been hiding in the Kuiper Belt for centuries. "The containment field is ready, Commander," Jackson reported. "The Vraxians say once it's activated, they can transport it safely out of our solar system." Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the massive Vraxian vessels working alongside Earth's comparatively tiny ships. Cooper sat beside her, watching the same view. "You know," she said to no one in particular, "when they asked for our most dangerous creature, they were right in a way they didn't even realize." "How so?" Jackson asked. "Dogs didn't just change themselves to adapt to us, they changed us too. They made us more empathetic, more cooperative. They taught us that we could form deep bonds with a completely different species." She smiled down at Cooper. "And that lesson just might have saved Earth." On the massive view screen, the containment field activated, surrounding the Krelvor Scout with a shimmering barrier. Earth's ships maintained their positions, following the Vraxian commander's instructions with precision developed over the past 72 hours of joint exercises. "Captain," the communications officer called out. "Message from High Commander Vextral." The Vraxian's face appeared on the screen, the trill visible on one shoulder. "Captain Chen," Vextral greeted her. "The operation is proceeding as planned. The Krelvor will be safely removed from your system within the hour." "Thank you, Commander," Maya replied. "And after that?" "After that," Vextral said, patterns shifting beneath the obsidian skin in what Maya now recognized as pleasure. "We would like to propose a formal alliance between our civilizations. Your species has much to offer the galactic community." "And Cooper?" Maya asked with a smile. "Your most dangerous beast has been approved for interstellar diplomatic duty," Vextral replied with what might have been a touch of humor. "The Trill are particularly interested in further interactions." As the communication ended, Maya knelt beside Cooper, ruffling the fur between his ears. "Hear that, boy? You just helped save Earth and form humanity's first interstellar alliance." Cooper, understanding nothing of galactic politics but everything about his human's happiness, wagged his tail and licked her face. Sometimes the simplest connections were the most powerful of all.